It's where rock concerts roar and where families find new homes in Korea. Like the Cook family, trading their lives in Cincinnati, Ohio for Camp Humphreys, South Korea. It's the Army's busiest airfield in Asia and the biggest U.S. military base overseas. Camp Humphreys is about 60 miles away from North Korea, driving distance from the heavily fortified demilitarized zone, the DMZ, which divides the Korean peninsula. More than 40,000 people call Camp Humphreys home, including the Cooks. They have not one, but two sets of twins, the youngest just 8 months old.
And when you set this, you won't have to.
They came here because of Sergeant Terry Cook, an Army IT specialist, here to support the critical U.S.-South Korea military alliance.
We met in Cincinnati, Ohio.
But in dad mode with his wife Ree, he says it's all about supporting his parental platoon.
I just really like to, spend as much time and maximize our time with this whole unit I got.
I just like how you look right now. You are literally super dad.
Camp Humphreys hosts the only U.S. Army division which is partially made up of South Korean soldiers. But the goal for families here is to immerse in Korean culture, which is especially important for Ree since she lived in Germany as a kid when her dad was a sergeant in the Army.
Being able to provide my children with the same cultural experiences that I was given as a child is just extremely important to me as a mother.
But for those looking for a slice of America, there's plenty. Texas Roadhouse, Yon-based golf course, and one of the biggest 4th of July celebrations on this side of the world.
I hereby declare.
There's also the feeling of belonging. Jubilation after years in the Army, finally becoming American citizens. Non-commissioned officer, NCO Sergeant Vanessa Ramo was born in the Philippines, supported here at her naturalization ceremony by her platoon.
I didn't expect it to be here, honestly. It's great to do it overseas somewhere, especially in Korea. I love Korea.
A slice of America, inextricably part of the Korean tapestry, and for its newest residents, hardly far from home. Mike Valerio, CNN, Camp Humphreys, South Korea.
Alive, and with them real hopes of their release, until so recently. Hirsch Goldberg Polin, Aidan Yerushalmi, Carmel Gad, Almog Sarusi, Alexander Lobanov, Ori Danino, found by the IDF in a Hamas tunnel in Gaza. Forensic evidence showing they were executed less than 3 days prior.
They were brutally murdered by Hamas terrorists a short while before we reached them.
Heartbreak, anger and anguish at Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's failure to make a deal, save Hirsch and the others. An emotive cocktail surging unprecedented numbers of anti-Netanyahu protesters onto the streets across the country. An outpouring to get the other hostages home.
We need a deal now for his future, for our future.
This shouldn't have happened.
Hamas is continuing to steadfastly refuse all proposals. Even worse, at the exact same time, it murdered 6 of our hostages. Whoever murders hostages does not want a deal.
The Prime Minister insisting Hamas, not him, responsible for the untimely deaths.
The Sabina Shoal is proving to be yet another flashpoint as China and the Philippines are blaming each other over the latest boat collision on the South China Sea. The most recent case is happening over the weekend as the United States condemned China for deliberately colliding with a Philippine vessel 3 times. The EU also showing its dissatisfaction, calling the moves by the Chinese Coast Guard unlawful, saying it's threatening the peace and stability in the region. China claims almost all of the South China Sea as its sovereign territory, despite an international ruling to the contrary. And at a Monday briefing, a spokesperson was defiant.
China's actions on Xihubin Reef are rights protection actions to safeguard China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests, which is legal and above board.
Publicly, China is offering a diplomatic hand, saying it's willing to maintain dialogue and communication with the Philippines, but observers see a starkly different approach on the sea for now. Mark Stewart, CNN, Beijing.